Hello and welcome back to What Heather Did. Today is day 4 of building my chicken coop. Okay, so walls are up. You can clearly see. We've got hardware cloth over where the windows themselves will be. And my chicks are gonna be 5 weeks old soon. So I gotta kind of get this done so we can this will be ready when they're ready to move out here. Okay. I'm not really sure. I do want to get the roost part put in today, hopefully a ramp built, and start putting siding on. Maybe a roof. Kind of see. Just kind of playing it by ear. But yeah, so that's where we are. Okay? Are you ready? Let's go build a chicken coop. Okay, I'm working on the ramp, and I have these old pickets that aren't in too bad of shape. So I want it to be, wide enough for the door. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and put a board across here as like the support, and then just cut it all to length at the same time. I think that'll be best. So I'm going to flip these over because I think this is the side I want. Flip those over, screw some supports to it, and then cut it down. Alright, so first I was going to work like on this brick, I guess. So I was flipping them all over so I could start screwing them together then, and then I was like, hey, this is kind of stupid because I have this whole surface I could use over here. So I moved over to the chicken coop, and my stepmom was helping me, and the wind kept blowing the camera over. So it was perfect view. But I did actually drill pilot holes so that none of the boards split. See, you can see right there where I'm drilling and then putting the screws in. So, right here, all we're doing is trying to make sure that it's supported, so when I go to cut it to length, then it's good. And I did use my square knowing that this probably isn't all that square, but I wanted it to be square-ish. And if I eyeball it, it's not even gonna be square-ish. So I put these screws in here, and then I did end up going back and putting screws from the other side just to make sure it was really a little bit more stable. And I really enjoyed this. We just got to sit and visit, and she was like, I don't know that I was a lot of help. And I was like, I don't work very fast anyway, so you really were. She started drilling pilot holes for me while I screwed everything in, and then helped me put all the boards in and support everything. So after I got the supports on, I cut it down to length, and then screwed some steps on from the other side. Make sure that my girls could walk up. Here is the ramp. Here, so we've got little steps for the chickies. That'll probably sit on something, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so it is a little over 3 feet long. And so from the ground to the top is 24 inches. So I read that it needs to be, the angle here needs to be less than 50 degrees. So to make sure it's less than 50 degrees, I did some maths, and this needed to be at least 31, well, I went with 45 degrees. which is less than 50. And this needed to be at least 31 inches. So it is 36 inches long. And I still not attached to it because I still need to put the siding and stuff over here. But there's my ramp. And I had seen like somebody use branches. And I was going to, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I think that looks super cute with the pickets. And this isn't smooth, so they may not have needed that many steps. But I did anyway. So there's my ramp. So here are roost bars. One of them. And I've got it all sanded. And then to attach it, I'm going to use, these aren't exactly the right brackets, but these little expansion brackets. It'll hold it. It'll be fine. Okay. So I attached one of the legs and then went ahead and drilled pilot holes and kind of adjusted it to make sure this was square before I actually attached it. Actually, that's a lie. I hadn't drilled the pilot hole yet because you would adjust it before you drilled. Yeah. And then I just screwed it down. Yes, the screws do go through the plywood, but I have a plan for that to make sure that those aren't exposed underneath. So it's okay. But you do have to have a plan to make sure that your birds don't have, you know, screws sticking through there that they could hurt themselves on. The roosting area is done, or the roosting bars done. So we've got this one, which is 18 inches high. And then this one is 24 inches high. Come around here, maybe you can see better. So this one's a little bit higher. And there's 12 inches between them. This is 12 inches from here to the wall, and then 12 inches between them. It's 3 feet long, and I've rounded the edges, so any sharp corners. I made a little ramp. I don't know if this is strictly necessary, but I do have a little ramp out of some old fence pickets right there, which is super cute. And then that board in the back is for some support, but also just, I don't know, maybe they want to sit there. Who knows? It's mostly for support. That first front one was a little bit wobbly, which is weird that that one's wobbly, but the back one isn't. But that is done. Yay! Okay, so for the siding, I'm going to try to use pallets, the pallet wood. And some of them need to be shorter and some of them need to be longer. So for some of them, this one I could not get apart the other way because I already tried to take this. It wouldn't come apart. So I'm just going to cut these boards off. And I'm using this as a straightish edge just so that I can get that a little bit straighter. Otherwise, as I'm cutting, I know I'm going to drift a little bit. And these will give me boards for some of the smaller areas where I don't need a longer board. See, right, even doing this right here, between the two, I definitely like have the angle going on. I could take more time and be more careful, but the 2x4 just made it so that went quicker. I do also want to take some pallets apart so that I get some longer boards. So I saw this on YouTube, and I'm not following the instructions exactly, and I should definitely be on concrete. But you can see I've already got the other side loose, so it's working-ish. Lessons were learned. But I had a hilarious time until then. It was a good time. Sledgehammer would work better. I don't have a sledgehammer. Okay. Lost one of my supports. it! I need it! You know, it's a bit wobbly.
And I don't think it is safe for the chickies.
This isn't for the chickies. I'm taking the boards off for siding. I need it! It's almost off. I almost have one whole board off. Look at that. Look. Oh, dang it. No! Oh, this is actually very cathartic. Where is my nerve? Just need you to be stable. Well, I'm exhausted.
Maybe you should take a break.
I'm gonna smash it with a hammer! Okay. I don't think I'm missing out. I think what I'm missing out on is food poisoning. I have one board that I have to get the nails out of, but I have a board. This little knot over here looks like a smiley face.
Wait, what?
There's a knot that looks like a smiley face, but it's mocking me. Now all I have to do is get 5,000 nails out. Okay. I've gotten most of these boards off of one pallet. Definitely need to have a more stable ground. And I have this hammer that's in my shed. That I think was my grandfather's. Anyway, the tutorial I saw definitely said to use a sledgehammer, but I don't have a sledgehammer. And I am not financially in a position to be like, well, time to buy a new tool. That and I would have had to go to the store today, and I don't want to. So, I think I will try that on the concrete before I try to get any more off. And then I'm just hammering these nails to get them out. If you didn't know, pallets are held together with these little like, twisty nails. They're really hard to get out, which makes sense because you don't want them to fall apart. So, that's what I'm doing. But I do need some of them to be longer because if I'm going to use this for siding, then I need some of them to actually go along the side. So, yeah. So that is what I'm currently doing. That was kind of fun though. My snap was all over the place. It might be time to end today, but I don't feel like I'm done yet. So I'm still working. I'm just taking the pallet boards that I only got like 2 pallets apart, and I hit the camera because you always want to make sure you knock the camera over. And I'm just gonna brad nail these on, and notice this one's like the perfect length. So I had to use clamps first. And I'm just brad nailing along the sides and plenty of places to support it. And if you look and you see a little bit of wobble, I want you to know it's not actually the whole chicken coop. It's this corner right here. I haven't actually attached to the other wall because I needed a bracket and I didn't have that bracket yet. So it's actually very stable. It's just this one wall is not yet attached. So it's just wobbly at that corner. And then the shorter boards will be good for these spaces. And just measuring how big I need it to be, and then kind of playing around with the layout, like what boards need to go there. And then I'll cut them down to size and attach them. And then I realized as I was doing this that I needed the board above this one to actually be a longer board to go all the way across, because that's going to be the top of the window. So yeah, I cut this board to size, but it was too wide. So I needed a thinner board, and then that'll go across there to make the top part of the windows. And if you happen to be enjoying this video, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and stick around for a little while. I sure would appreciate it because it helps my channel out. We're finishing out day 4, and I did not get a video of us putting this on. It's just stapled right now, and I know for the parts that are going to be exposed I need to do something better. But like this, I'm going to have like boards like this going across right here. So, and no, it doesn't come out yet. I understand there's a problem here. I have a plan for that. I also started putting siding. So that's where my 2 windows will go. And then there's a vent right up there. That's going to be a vent. I need a little piece to go up above. Now, I'm still going to do, obviously, like, well, not obviously, but I'm still going to do trim around the window to make it look a little nicer. And then I'll do trim right here to make everything even. But that is done. I was kind of playing around to see how it would go. And it's pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. I did have a problem with that board. You know, pallet wood isn't all uniform width, so it just is what it is. But I like it. And we'll obviously have to clean the boards before we paint it. But my daughter wants to paint, so she'll get to paint. And yes, I'll probably help her. So this side, see where we are. That's just sitting there exposed, so it's a hazard right there right now, but I'm exhausted. And this is all the wood I told my kids is just put the usable stuff up here. So, and you can see on the windows from this side, I didn't worry about matching it up perfectly. Like, this is the frame, but I didn't need it to be perfect. Like, I can it doesn't have to be that exact size. So, yeah, it's all good. So we're ready to go, and that is the end of day 4. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned to find out what Heather does next time. So, I did want to include a thing about, I actually did come up with a good way to take the pallet apart. I didn't want to leave you just thinking, wow, she's not a very good problem solver. Because I am. So, I will not lie, I did have a good time swinging a hammer and just hitting stuff. I feel like that's really good for releasing a little pent up energy. It's in the garage hanging up on that shelf. Okay. So, some things that I'm did and kind of, to be able to take this apart. First of all, I borrowed a better hammer. I think my dad said this is a 3-pound work hammer. I don't know. So, I did try the other method I was using on the concrete, and I actually found it just bounced around more. It was actually more difficult. So that didn't actually help. And here's the type of pallet I'm taking apart. You can see it just has, this is the underside. It doesn't have any boards across the bottom. It just has these boards here. So, I was like, hey, why don't I do this thing where I flip it over and then it's supported with, I just put bricks here across this piece and then have this board that I just set right here, hit that, and it works perfectly. I tried some other things too, but that, it works really fast. It's going really quick to take my pallets apart. So much less energy. I don't get to hit things with a hammer as much, but it does go quicker. So, depends on what you need. Also, for me, it's easier to be seated and then not be standing and trying to hold like another board while hitting it. Just sitting here and then I just hit the board. So it's pretty simple. Okay? I'll show you. Put my safety goggles on. Gotta be safe. One hit. So much faster. Now, I have still had some boards that were harder to get off. Okay, I'll go look in a minute. And there's still been some that have cracked. But it's quicker. And you could hit directly just right here. But I feel like this one makes it quicker and it distributes that force. So the boards aren't as likely to crack. Not to say they won't. Less likely. So that has been what I've been doing. And it goes pretty quick. The center ones are still harder because I can't actually sit there and do that. I do have to stand over it. But